Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a good weekend. And for this particular session, we are going to talk about splitting up the 2.5 hour session into two distinct parts. This particular week, the topic summary number three is going to be about learning. Now, there are a couple of real good YouTube videos here on social cognitive theories and behavioral cognitive theories. And I think it's quite interesting for you to take a look at these particular videos because basically, socio-cultural theory has a lot to do with organizational behavior and how people behave, how they learn. Learning is a very important part of the social approach to behavior. And, a lot of things that we have are innate, a lot of things are cognitively processed, and a lot of things are influenced largely by our environment. And a lot of what we study in this particular section has to do with the complexity of our, best way to put this, our ability to digest information and translate it into something that we feel comfortable with. A lot of anxiety in organizations comes from what they refer to as cognitive complexity. That means that a lot of times there are many different individuals in the organization that are looking at things from largely a different perspective than we are, and we almost feel alienated from how we learn to be able to be most effective and most productive in that organization. So there's a lot of social theory involved in this section, and also it takes in what we refer to as multiple intelligences. People have many different intelligences, and those that are able to use several of those multiple intelligence, which we call emotional intelligence, they're able to cognitively process large amounts of information from not just a skill set standpoint, but also a cognitive cultural perspective, meaning that they're able to bring in all different types of diverse contributions to the organization, pull it together, and make sense out of it. So, in this particular section, we're going to be looking at a lot of foundational theories. So, I think you want to go in and read your book specifically on section number three on learning. Also, if you go to your learning activities for this particular section, I'm really going to go over your project and again revisit. It's so important that this term long project is done correctly from the point of getting your proposal done, working in your teams. There's some really neat videos on um, writing an outline for your research paper that I put up for you. And also, um, there is another video on creating and using outlines. So I just want you to feel comfortable with that and go over your projects again. And we're going to have a little workshop in the second half of the class that I'm actually going to ask you as teams to work on your proposals and give you some feedback as you do that. Because as you know, if you go back to your syllabus, your proposals are coming up the middle of October. They're going to be due. So you should have your companies picked out, know what you're going to do. And for the first half of class, you can apply a lot of this cognitive social learning theory to the second half and integrate that into your projects. So taking all that into consideration, look at all the different parts and roles that each one of your team members play. doing the SWOT analysis on each one of those members. You know, who has the best strengths and who has the weaknesses that can be supplemented by another member of the team, um, assessing collectively all of your strengths and weaknesses and knowing who will do what throughout the project, who's going to be the editor, who's going to be the researcher, um, who's going to be able to put it all together and say, okay, this is the best presentation we can make if we were to actually present to a company. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's what's coming up for Monday, and we'll see you at 4:15.